Welcome back, folks, for another episode of Clean Eating Hacks. We're your hosts. I'm Pia Maffei, owner of Artisan's Palette and owner of IamACleanEater.com. And I'm back with my partner, Sharissa Bradley. She's an awesome nutritionist, and she's here working with us today again. And we're making fat bombs. It seems like every other person that's coming in the store is doing some form of keto. I feel like, I hate saying it this way, but they're kind of doing a dirty keto, not exactly a clean keto. So we're gonna make fat bombs for you today. We had a whole class last year in making basically a whole keto class. And we made these for the class. They're delicious. And as we continue our discussion in this episode, we'll talk more about keto as Sharissa's measuring out the ingredients. With regards to the xylitol, Sharissa, literally like this much.
Okay.
Like that's how much xylitol we use, like a fingernail, tiny little amount, because the whole point of keto is high fat, low carbs. And xylitol is a sweetener that we're using that generally has, it's like, I think 1 on the glycemic index and 1 carb, or it's really low. So that's part of the reason we use that sweetener. So keto, high fat, low carbs, and a lot of people do under 20 grams of carbs. So we're gonna make a fat bomb that has coconut oil. In fact, in the original recipe, it calls for coconut butter. And if you have it, use it. It's a huge improvement to the coconut oil. You can also use MCT oil. We're gonna use our vanilla bean ghee that we have in the store. We're also going to use cacao butter, which gives it a nice chocolatey flavor, and it's another fat. And of course, we're gonna put in the vital proteins peptides in here. We also have another one, which is a coconut vanilla flavor that can totally go into this recipe too. And then we're going to add 1 drop of lemon essential oil, just 1 drop, because we find that when we do it and then freeze it, and if it stayed in the freezer for maybe 2 or 3 days, the lemon will overpower it if you put 2 drops in. So we're using a double boiler here, and Sharissa's putting everything in the double boiler. And I'm gonna just slide in over here. And where are we at here? Did you get all the ingredients in there?
The last one we need to do is the coconut oil. If you want to go ahead and start the coconut oil.
Okay,
perfect.
perfect.
4 tablespoons.
4 tablespoons. So let's talk a little bit about keto and what do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? What do you think is the maybe one, and then just pour it in?
Yeah, perfect. That's a really good question. I really like the science behind keto. Truly, I do. Being in, and really you have to understand what it even means. So the keto diet means that you're tricking your body, instead of burning carbohydrates or calories, sugar, glucose for energy, you're going to be burning fat for energy. So it's a high fat diet, low carb, no sugar, and the reason that you do that is because you don't want your body to go back into burning glucose for energy. You want to stay in that fat burning zone. Now the problem I have with keto is really you have to understand the science before you jump into something like this. Because I have tons of clients who tell me, oh, I'm doing keto, but I have a cheat day. The problem with having even 1 tiny bit more carbohydrates or sugar than you're supposed to have, you put your body back into burning the natural way, which is burning glucose for energy. So if you stay in the fat burning zone, and really the only way to know how to do that is by buying a monitor, a glucose monitor, and by checking your blood sugar levels all the time to see if you're staying in ketosis. Now, the ketogenic body burning fat for energy can be very healing and restorative for the brain, especially for people who've had any type of brain trauma or neuroinflammation. So seizures, cancers, things like that. It's been shown to show really significant improvements. Now the problem is the ketogenic diet is meant as a healing diet. So if you do it maybe 6 months out of the year or 1 year maximum, because your body needs the nutrients it gets from fruits and vegetables. So if you cut out eating all the fruits and vegetables, it won't take long for your body to be depleted of all of those nutrients. So again, that's why Pia says that they're not doing it correctly when you're trying to do keto. You've got to do proper supplementation so that you're not losing your nutrients, and you can't even for 1 second have a cheat moment. There's no cheats or treats really on the keto diet. You're gonna do the fat bombs, you're gonna eat lots of bacon, you can have the good high quality dairy. It's a great healing protocol, but you've gotta do it the right way. And if you're even a little bit on the fence about understanding how to do it, then get a coach. Find someone who understands the science behind the keto diet and have them help you do it. It's not all about eating, cheese and high
Definitely
milk
not.
in your coffee.
Right.
And these amazing fat bombs make it worth trying. However, we can go in and out of a state of ketosis throughout the day. So you can eat a normal vegetarian, vegan, paleo, vegan, any kind of diet that you're trying or that works for your body, but also spend some time in ketosis every day by doing things like the fat bomb and the fat coffee, doing any of Dave Asprey's bulletproof type style, and get yourself into a ketosis in some points of the day. For me, I really like ketosis first thing in the morning. So I make myself like a fat tea or a fat coffee, or what Pia and I drink almost every episode is our maccachino. So we've got our maccachino, which is the roasted maca, and it's got the collagen and the good fat from the vanilla bean ghee. And that will help put our brains in that state of ketosis for a little while until then we introduce some carbohydrates at lunch, maybe a big salad, or add some starch with your dinner, something like a sweet potato, something along those lines. So there's a lot of ways to add that good fat in your diet and have the ketosis without actually being on a full-blown ketogenic diet. But again, get a coach.
What are your thoughts about doing a carb reload, like a smart carb reload?
It's interesting the way our body works. Our body wants to have patterns. It wants to understand what we're doing each day. So that's why we have these regular cycles, right? We have the circadian rhythm. We have, our body is cycling through in all different ways that we don't even really understand. So by doing things like extremely holding food back or extreme eating, any of those like eating, overloading on any one thing, what our body really craves is balance. So to keep something consistent throughout the day. So if you're gonna have, your keto in the morning or your good high fats in the morning, and then in the afternoons have, a significant amount of carbs, maybe you have a big green salad, that's all carbohydrates. Maybe you have sweet potatoes for dinner, that's some carbohydrates. Really it's best to find a balance for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you explore this reset, that's really what we like to consider. Keto
Absolutely.
is more of a reset
Oh,
rather than a
absolutely.
lifestyle.
Yes.
When you explore this, look at searching words kind of like clean keto and carb reload. So every 7 to 8 days, I think it's good to increase your carbohydrates. Your body uses them differently at this point. So look those up. Like Sharissa said, find a good coach that's in your area that knows what they're talking about. I'm not sure if there's some multi-level marketing going on right now, but for some reason every other person is coming in and they have bars and they say, oh, now I put myself directly into ketosis. And I'm like, what does that even mean? I don't understand. So maybe while you're watching this, if you can educate us, I would love to understand what that means, that somehow you eat a bar and instantly you're in ketosis. Okay, I guess. I'm not sure what it means.
The only way to check if your body's actually in ketosis is to check your blood sugar levels. So if you're really serious about being in keto or ketogenics all the time, you got to get a blood sugar monitor and you have to check it regularly and make sure you know where you're at and not hurting yourself in any way. So we want to make sure that you're getting enough calories to sustain you for the day, whether that's coming from fat, whether that's coming from protein, and even if you're limiting carbohydrates, it's just something to really understand about yourself.
Awesome. So what we've done is we've poured some of these into a mold. You can pour it into like a tray if you want, then put it in the freezer. If you eat it directly out of the freezer, it's almost like eating a white chocolate wafer. It's like
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard like that. But if you put it in the freezer and let it freeze, and then put it in the refrigerator for maybe an hour and bite into it, it's like fudge. It's really good. So try our fat bombs, give us some comments, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.